Welcome back to Power Within, the place where we unlock hidden potential and explore breakthrough strategies to master our lives. Today, let's dive into the wisdom of one of the masters of personal development, Bob Proctor. While this may not be a direct interview, his teachings continue to live on, inspiring millions across the globe. Have you ever wondered what sets apart those who achieve extraordinary success from those who continue to struggle with their goals? Is it natural talent, luck, or is there a hidden secret they've uncovered? According to Bob Proctor, the journey to success begins with a deep exploration within ourselves. He once shared his experience of attending personal development seminars. From my experience, people attend seminars, especially personal development ones, looking for answers. They want to know, what's out there that I can learn to become more successful? But that was never my motive. The first key that Bob Proctor wants to convey is this: don't look for answers outside of yourself. Start by understanding who you are. Because all your potential, all the solutions you seek, already lie deep within you. He also shared a pivotal moment with someone who greatly influenced him, Ray Stanford, who once told him something that changed his life. If you don't like the results you're getting in your life, you're going to have to change yourself, because those results are yours. That's a powerful truth. Based on Ray Stanford's advice and Bob Proctor's own reflections, if you want to change your life, you must start by changing yourself. And what's the first step to changing yourself? If you want to change yourself, you have to learn something about yourself. That's the profound piece of advice Bob Proctor received. It may sound simple, but it carries an essential truth. Self-awareness is the foundation for all transformation and growth. So, what does it mean to truly know yourself? We might know our name, our age, our address, but Bob Proctor pointed out that these are just surface layers. I found that most people don't know who they are. They really don't. I know my name, I know my age, I know where I live. But that's not me. Bob and Proctor are just two words. My parents gave them to me. They're called my name, but that's not me, that's my name. Someone might say this is me pointing to the body, but that's not me either. That's my body. According to Bob Proctor, we often confuse our true essence with what we own. Our names, our bodies. We don't say I hand or I leg, we say my hand, my leg. So who is the real I? This is the question Bob Proctor urges each of us to contemplate deeply. I believe that if a person starts to study this and looks for the answer, they will find it. That was Bob Proctor's strong belief. He believed we exist on multiple levels of awareness. I think we exist on 3 planes of understanding. We are spiritual beings, we have an intellect, and we live in a physical body. Yet according to him, most people focus far too much on the outer physical world, neglecting the incredible power within their mind and spirit. This leads to the startling truth. 95% of the population is reacting to life. They're not really living. Bob Proctor pointed out that most of us are living reactively, letting external circumstances dictate our actions, rather than creating the life we truly desire. This is one of the biggest barriers to success. So what, according to Bob Proctor, are the real obstacles preventing us from achieving success? He identified 2 main factors. I think there are 2 barriers. One is the process of unconscious programming, the deep-rooted beliefs, habits, and thought patterns formed during childhood that now govern our subconscious. All we could do back then was act and talk like the people around us. The second is our environment. We tend to behave like everyone around us. From this, we can understand that our current results, our habits and actions, are heavily influenced by 2 things: the subconscious conditioning we received as children, the environment and people we surround ourselves with in the present. Bob Proctor even shared a shocking statistic. If you study the numbers, 95% of people live their entire lives and never live the way they want to live. Only about 5% end their lives in comfort or financial independence. That's a wake-up call. According to Bob Proctor, 95% of people who work hard all their lives still never achieve financial freedom or the life they truly dream of. Why is that? I'd better start thinking for myself instead of following everyone else. That's a powerful piece of advice from Bob Proctor. Don't blindly follow the crowd if you don't want to end up with the same results. Start questioning things, challenge the beaten path, and carve out your own road to success. Bob Proctor also pointed out a natural human need that sometimes becomes a major obstacle. Most people, when they get a job, look around, see how everyone else is doing the work, and start doing it the same way. We have this need to blend in. I mean, we don't want to stand out, we don't want to get fired, we don't want to make waves. Right, just get in line, like everybody else. According to Bob Proctor, the need to conform can make us lose our uniqueness and creative potential. He encourages us. I think we should make a few waves. Maybe we should stand out, be different. Not for the sake of being different, but because we are different. We all think different thoughts. And I believe we should start thinking and build images in our minds of what we want to do. And then go do it. Next key from Bob Proctor. Don't be afraid to be different. Each of us is a unique individual with our own thoughts and potential. Dare to dream big, think differently, and act on what your heart tells you. Bob Proctor also mentioned great figures in history like Emerson, Edison, Marconi, people who dared to go against the crowd and left behind remarkable legacies. Initially, Bob Proctor's own goal may have been just about money, but he eventually realized, after doing this for a few years, I decided that the real answer is to understand yourself a little better. A vital lesson from Bob Proctor. True wealth isn't just material, it's a deeper understanding of who you really are. The journey to success starts with exploring your inner self. So, how do we understand ourselves better? Bob Proctor shared his personal journey. I went to seminars. I listened to different speakers teach about the mind. I think the answer lies in our minds. If we all start studying and trying to understand our minds. According to Bob Proctor, the key to understanding yourself is discovering the power of your mind. He believed, the biggest part of me you'll never see. It's non-physical. What you see here in the physical body is merely the physical expression of the higher part of my personality. A profound insight from Bob Proctor. Our true selves are not just what we see physically. There is also a spiritual side, an invisible yet incredibly powerful source of energy. Every thought has creative power. Thought is everywhere. And we attract thoughts into our mind, and we build pictures or images in our mind. If I can build an image of something in my mind, I am absolutely capable of building a physical replica of it in my world. According to Bob Proctor, this is the secret. Your mind is a reality workshop. Anything you can clearly imagine in your mind, you have the power to manifest in the physical world. So how can we use this power effectively? Bob Proctor offered a simple yet incredibly powerful tip. If I build an image of myself as a happy, relaxed person, I can live that way. If I build an image of myself as a prosperous person, I can become prosperous. So, if we think rich, we will be rich. A golden principle from Bob Proctor. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you want to change the outer results, start by changing your inner thoughts. Bob Proctor also offered an interesting perspective on wealth. We're already rich, we're just short of money. This implies that the wealth is already within us. The only challenge is how to awaken and realize it. So what's the first step to manifesting wealth and success, according to Bob Proctor? The first thing you do is sit down and decide what you want. If you want money, how much money do you want? A key secret from Bob Proctor. Clarity is power. You must specifically and clearly define what you truly desire in life. A lot of money or success are vague concepts. Get specific about your goals. Once your goals are crystal clear, Bob Proctor suggested a simple but effective method. You write down exactly what you want on a card, and you carry that card with you and read it often. A simple technique that Bob Proctor learned from Think and Grow Rich. Write down your goal clearly, carry it with you, and read it frequently. This helps you stay focused on the goal and reinforces your belief in achieving it. However, on the journey toward reaching our goals, we often face inner voices of doubt. Bob Proctor pointed out how to deal with this. Now, you're going to have thoughts come into your mind as to why you can't do it. You have the ability in your conscious mind to reject that idea, to kick it right out of your mind. Thinking about why you can't do something is never going to do you any good. An important piece of advice from Bob Proctor. When negative and doubtful thoughts arise, recognize them and actively remove them from your mind. Instead, focus on. Keep thinking until you start to think of ideas on how you can do it. And the way will be shown to you. It comes in the form of images in our minds. Think about how you can, not why you can't. The key to success according to Bob Proctor. Instead of focusing on why you can't, direct your mind to finding ways to make it happen. When you focus on solutions, the path begins to reveal itself. To shorten the path to success, Bob Proctor advises, you should get a good book and start to study it. Pick someone who has done something you want to do and study them. Go to experts for advice. Don't ask your neighbor, your mother, your father, your brother, or the person next to you at work, because they don't necessarily know. Bob Proctor's advice: to achieve extraordinary results, learn from those who have already accomplished what you aspire to. Don't seek advice from those who lack the experience or the results you desire. Seek out experts, people who have proven their path. Bob Proctor shared about the books that had a profound impact on his life. I have Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. I've been reading it for 23 years. I'll probably read it for another 23. I got another great book. It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. That is probably one of the best books you'll ever find because you'll learn something about your mind as you read it. According to Bob Proctor, reading and deeply reflecting on classic books about success and the power of the mind is extremely important. He's been rereading Think and Grow Rich for decades and recommends The Power of Your Subconscious Mind as an invaluable resource for understanding how the mind works. When you read a good book the second time, you don't see something in it you didn't see before. You see something in yourself that wasn't there before. When I read this, I created greater awareness. A powerful insight from Bob Proctor. Each time you reread a valuable book, it's not just the content that becomes clearer, it's yourself that evolves. True understanding deepens when knowledge is repeatedly reflected upon and refreshed in the mind. Bob Proctor also shared a profound definition of education. The word education comes from the word educo, which means to draw out, to develop from within. An educated person is not necessarily someone with an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. An educated person is one who has developed the faculties of their mind so that they can acquire anything they want, or its equivalent, without violating the rights of others. An educated person is someone who knows how to go and get what they want out of life, in a non-selfish manner. According to Bob Proctor, true education is not just about gathering external knowledge, but about unlocking and developing inner potential. A truly educated person is someone who uses their mind effectively and ethically to achieve their goals. Bob Proctor emphasized the importance of mental training. We don't train the mind enough. Kids in school should be taught before the year starts. They should sit down. They should be given a blank report card and told to visualize the grades they want to earn and write their own report card. Then the teacher should say, "Now, I want you to focus only on how to earn those grades. Don't think about why you can't. And I want you to adopt the attitude that you will achieve them." A groundbreaking educational method proposed by Bob Proctor. Instead of focusing on limitations and fear of failure, teach children how to visualize success, believe in their abilities, and focus on finding solutions. Bob Proctor believes all greatness begins from. That's where all greatness comes from. Greatness comes from fantasy. When Edison first saw the light bulb, it was fantasy. The Wright brothers fantasized about flying through the sky. A powerful source of motivation from Bob Proctor. Never lose your ability to dream and visualize the extraordinary. Great inventions and groundbreaking achievements all begin as fantasies, in the minds of those bold enough to think differently. Another key factor Bob Proctor emphasized. Attitude. It consists of how you think, how you feel, and how you act. You've got to have a winning attitude. According to Bob Proctor, attitude is the foundation of all success. The way you think, feel, and act determines the results you achieve in life. However, Bob Proctor also pointed out a challenge in changing attitude. In human relations, we talk about the most difficult thing in managing people. The hardest thing to deal with is their attitude. It's almost impossible to change someone else's attitude. The only attitude we can change is our own. An important truth from Bob Proctor. You cannot control or change someone else's attitude. The only attitude you have the right to control is your own. Focus on nurturing a positive and resilient attitude. Bob Proctor believed that managers should recognize the importance of attitude. To be a good manager, yes, it's attitude. And teach people something about attitude. Teach them something about themselves. Make them realize they are valuable, that they have worth, they are the greatest resource we have. Advice for leaders from Bob Proctor. Focus on developing positive attitudes and self-worth in your team, because people are the most valuable asset of any organization. So, what is a winning attitude according to Bob Proctor? Can you define that for me first? What is a winning attitude? To answer this, Bob Proctor referred to a fundamental law of the universe. The entire universe operates by laws, and there is a law of opposites. It's called the law of polarity. Everything has its opposite, positive and negative. According to Bob Proctor, the universe operates on the principle of duality. Everything has two sides. And in thinking, we have the choice between the positive and the negative. You can think negatively or you can think positively, but you can't think both at the same time. You only think one way at a time. And we must train our minds to think or look for the positive or the good in everything. There is good in everything. There's no such thing as nothing good. A key lesson from Bob Proctor. You always have the power to choose your thoughts. Train your mind to focus on the positive, on the opportunities hidden in every situation. Bob Proctor gave a practical example. Car broke down on the way to the station. There's something good about it. According to him, even in the most difficult situations, there is always a seed of something good. Our task is to find it. Bob Proctor further explained this principle. There's a law of gender that governs that. Science understands it, it's taught in science. In this context, Bob Proctor used the law of gender to refer to the creative and expressive nature of opposites. For anything to exist and grow, it requires both positive and negative, both masculine and feminine energies. From these universal laws, Bob Proctor offered this advice on controlling thought. When thought energy flows into our mind, we decide what we're going to think. The unemployed person can choose to think, I can't get a job, but they can also choose to think, I can. If they think, I will get a job, then they will begin to attract a series of thoughts to help them find it. A powerful principle from Bob Proctor. You can control the flow of thought in your mind. Actively choose positive thoughts, thoughts that support your goals. To truly master attitude, Bob Proctor emphasized the importance of understanding. You've really got to understand how your conscious and subconscious mind operate in relation to your body or your physical world in order to understand attitude. According to him, to change your attitude in a sustainable way, you must understand how your conscious and subconscious mind work. The conscious mind is where decisions and deliberate thoughts happen, while the subconscious mind holds deep beliefs, habits, and emotions. Bob Proctor believed that attitude should be taught in schools. Attitude should be taught as a subject in school before reading, writing, arithmetic, or anything else. Because a person's attitude will determine the grades they get. A powerful view from Bob Proctor. Attitude is more important than knowledge or skills. A positive and correct attitude is the solid foundation for all success in life. A concept closely related to attitude that Bob Proctor mentioned is, perhaps part of attitude or related to attitude is the self-image that you talked about. According to Bob Proctor, self-image, how you see and evaluate yourself, deeply influences your attitude and actions. Bob Proctor referenced Dr. Maxwell Maltz's research on this concept. Dr. Maxwell Maltz discovered the concept of self-image as we know it today back in 1960. He realized, sometimes when he removed a scar, a major psychological shift would occur in that person. He believed that we have two images. One external image, and we also have an internal self-image. According to Bob Proctor, Dr. Maxwell Maltz pointed out that we have both an outward appearance and an internal image of who we are. The internal self-image, how we truly think about ourselves, powerfully influences how we behave and what we believe we are capable of achieving. Bob Proctor quoted Dr. Maltz's famous book. In psychocybernetics, psycho means the mind and cybernetics is the science of control and communication. He explains how each one of us has an image in our mind of ourselves, and it's called the self-image. According to Bob Proctor, psychocybernetics shed light on how our self-image is formed and how it affects our lives. Bob Proctor pointed out a common issue. Too many people don't know much about themselves and therefore they don't have a good self-image. You'll often notice that people will avoid you. They won't look you in the eye. They'll look down. They'll look up. They'll never attempt to do anything of great consequence because they don't think they can. They have a poor self-image. According to Bob Proctor, a negative self-image holds us back from our true potential and prevents us from pursuing big goals. People with low self-esteem often lack confidence and doubt their own abilities. He also explained one of the root causes of a poor self-image. Part of that is because through school we're told about what we don't do well. We fail here, we get low marks. Or you only get 60% or something. I think there was a great injustice caused by the IQ test in that regard when you leave school. According to Bob Proctor, criticism, negative comparisons, and unfair evaluations from the past, especially in educational settings, can damage our self-image. We fail here, we get low marks. Or you only get 60% or something. I think there was a great injustice caused by the IQ test in that regard when you leave school. We test a person's intelligence and then we label them as good, bad, smart, not smart. And that's not right. We can change IQ by changing self-image. But yes, if we're told we're not very good, you're just like your father, you know. You're useless, you'll never amount to anything. You didn't go to school, you can't succeed. According to Bob Proctor, negative comments and imposed labels from childhood can sink into our subconscious and distort our self-image. Labels like worthless or useless can suppress our potential and make us believe in limitations that don't truly exist. However, Bob Proctor offered a hopeful message. That's completely false. We can do anything, and we should encourage a child. Pat them on the back instead of kicking them. A powerful affirmation from Bob Proctor. We have unlimited potential. Don't let negative words from the past determine your future. Change the way you see yourself and believe in the vast potential within you. So what can we, those following Power Within right now, do to improve our self-image? Bob Proctor gave some specific advice. Most of us carry a certain level of self-image. We all have a self-image. Yes, would you say most of us have a negative self-image to some extent? Yes, let's say all of us can improve our self-image. I don't care how good your image is, you can still improve it. Yes, how do we improve it? Something specific, how can we make our self-image more positive? According to Bob Proctor, no matter what your current self-image is, you can always improve it. So what are the specific steps to build a more positive self-image? Bob Proctor shared a simple yet powerful technique. If a person sits down and lets their body relax, completely relax, and then begins to visualize in their mind, seeing themselves the way they want to see themselves. It might take quite a bit of thought at first because we're not sure. Yes, relax, yes. I mean, think about how you want to see yourself. Maybe we don't even know how we want to be. Related to something specific. Maybe someone we admire? Could be. A place we want to see ourselves in the future? Yes, see how you want to live your life. See yourself living that way. The first technique Bob Proctor recommended is to completely relax your body and mind, then begin to vividly visualize the image of the person you want to become. At first, you may not see it clearly, so relate it to someone you admire or to the kind of life you dream of living. Bob Proctor further explained the power of mental imagery. Continuation available if you want more of that explanation. Now understand that it's just a picture in your mind. When you pick up a book, it's nothing more than a picture an author has painted with words. Van Gogh, the great painter, was once asked how he created such beautiful works. He said, "I dream my painting and then I paint my dream." To have a picture in your mind and then paint it on a wall or on a canvas. Well, if we relax and build a mental image of how we want to see ourselves, how we want to act in life, how we communicate with others, what our social life looks like. See ourselves in the position we want to hold or how we give sales presentations, if we're in sales or anything else. Then take that image and describe it. Write it out in the present tense. According to Bob Proctor, our minds operate through images. Just like an artist envisions the painting before putting brush to canvas, we need to create a clear mental image of who we want to become and the life we desire. Then put that image into words written in the present tense as if you've already achieved it. Bob Proctor knew this method might seem strange to some. Now I am so happy seeing myself, and write it down. Now a lot of people will laugh at this and say, that doesn't make any sense. makes a whole lot of sense. They just can't tell you why it doesn't. I can spend hours telling you why it does, and I can explain it in such detail that people will understand. But for now, write out a description of how you want to see yourself. Start reading it, and read it, and read it, every single day. Carry it with you and keep reading it. Bob Proctor understood that affirming positive beliefs might feel weird or unrealistic at first. However, he emphasized that this method has a solid scientific basis and produces powerful changes in self-image and belief. Keep writing and reading the description of the person you want to become, every day. Bob Proctor also spoke of a truth all great masters throughout history have agreed on. The point all the great masters throughout history have agreed upon, they were absolutely in harmony on this. We become what we think about. This is the eternal truth Bob Proctor wanted us to embed deeply in our minds. Your thoughts have the power to shape your life. You will become what you consistently think about. Bob Proctor encouraged persistence and belief. Now it may seem like a fantasy at first. It may even seem like a lie to us. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it. And when William James said, "Believe and your belief will create the fact," you'll begin to see a change in that person's personality. I've watched people's personalities change right before my eyes in seminars. And all they were doing was beginning to see themselves differently. They started thinking different thoughts. To Bob Proctor, belief is creative power. Even if the vision you hold of yourself feels like a fantasy at first, if you fuel it with persistence and belief, it will begin to take form and become real. So, what is the connection between thought and action according to Bob Proctor? So, do our thoughts control our actions? Oh, there's no doubt about it. Our thoughts control our feelings control our actions. Either we control our thoughts, or unwanted results will control us. According to Bob Proctor, thoughts create feelings, and feelings control actions. So if you want to change your actions and the results you get in life, you must begin by directing and mastering your thoughts. Bob Proctor also warned against a common negative habit. Generally, one of our difficulties, one of our problems perhaps, is that we tend to react to what others say to us. And so we have negative thoughts, and then that affects our feelings, and that affects our behavior. Yes, that's exactly how it happens. We read the newspaper, bad news and gloom is coming, and we just accept it. According to Bob Proctor, we're often influenced by negative information from the outside world. These negative messages give rise to negative thoughts, which then affect our emotions and actions, often leading to poor outcomes. Bob Proctor encourages a more proactive mindset. Bad news and gloom don't have to come. There's always a crisis for someone out there. We should ask ourselves when we read something in the news, do I want to get emotionally involved in that idea? If it's a negative idea, I don't want to get emotionally involved. When an idea comes to your mind, whether someone tells you or you read it, we should evaluate it. Ask ourselves, will this idea help me get to where I want to go? If not, reject the idea. Bob's advice: stay alert when facing negativity. Don't let it dominate your thoughts and emotions. Ask yourself whether that idea or piece of news will bring you closer to your goals. If not, let it go. This conversation with Bob Proctor offered deep insights and timeless principles for personal growth and achieving success. And so, we've explored these priceless gems of wisdom from Bob Proctor with Power Within. From understanding yourself, breaking psychological barriers, unlocking the power of your thoughts and attitude, to learning from the greats and committing to your goals with persistence. What have you learned from these powerful insights? Which principle will you apply to your life today? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe to Power Within, and stay tuned for more empowering content. And share this video with your friends, so together we can unlock the power within and create a life of success and fulfillment. You've just tuned into another inspiring episode from Power Within. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.